the AFC South, and the man who refuses to wear a jersey. I've offered to buy him one. He just will not do it. Tony, tell us why that is, and then get into the AFC South, man.
Like I've stated many times before, no grown man should wear another grown man's jersey, right? If you didn't play the game, don't wear somebody else's number. I can't do it. So again, I leave that to you guys. I fully get it. You're fanatical about your teams. I'm just excited to talk anything other than golf. We're not talking about strokes gained. We're talking about winning divisions. And you guys give me the absolutely easiest cream puff division to break down. This is simple. It's quick. It's the Tennessee Titans or nobody in the AFC South. This is probably objectively the worst division in football, other than maybe the NFC South. I feel like the NFC South has a little bit more of a pulse, but it's the Titans here. They are clearly the class of this division. It was proven on Sunday night when they went bell to bell with the NFL's best, the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium, taking them all the way into overtime with their backup quarterback. And it just proves the fact that even in an era of great quarterback play where offenses are scoring 30, 40 points on any given Sunday, that defense and running the football still wins games. Go look at what the Patriots are doing. Go look at what the Giants are doing. You can have an abysmal quarterback and still beat the crap out of people if you have a man horse at running back. And Derrick Henry is an absolute freak of nature. And as long as that man has a pulse, they need to give him the football. He needs to carry the ball 30, 40 times a game and let those two other freak shows that they have playing defensive tackle up front absolutely destroy teams. I love the Titans in this division. It's not even close. The other team that has the lightest of pulses, and I'm talking like a 90-year-old billionaire on his deathbed in home care with his 28-year-old trophy wife standing next to him with the checkbook and a will with her name on it, like the lightest of pulses. It's the Jaguars here. The Jaguars have a tough road ahead with their remaining strength of schedule. They have to play the Chiefs. They have to play the Cowboys. They have to play the Ravens. And yes, they have to play in division against the Titans 2 more times. But if by the grace of God, they can win those games against the Titans and then somehow pull out a couple victories against some of the best teams in the NFL, well, there's a chance. I love the number that they're getting in terms of their odds. And again, because this division is so terrible, they have a chance. The Houston Texans, we'll just cross them right off the list. Not worth discussing. But, hey, they're in the division. It is what it is. Chalk up a victory for the teams that are going to play against them. And then, of course, the Indianapolis Colts. You talk about throwing in the towel. You hire a guy whose best byline on his coaching resume is Peyton Manning rubbed his nuts for 13 years. And I don't know if that makes you a great football mind through osmosis, but to me, that just means that they've thrown in the towel on the year. They've shelved Taylor. Michael Pittman is garbage. Their quarterback play is absolutely terrible. They are the worst team in this division, even in comparison with the Texans. So to me, Titans with a bullet, not even close. Jaguars, if everything falls their way and they can beat the Titans twice before the division ends up, they have the outside chance. But again, I think the Titans run away with this thing, Mike.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to throw it to Jake to see what he thinks. Now, Jake, we dropped 41 points on the Titans, and somehow they turned this thing around. And watching that game, like Tony said, against the Chiefs, it was brutal. I was like, oh, my God, how did we drop 41 on that defense that was holding Mahomes? I mean, it was 20-20, I think, when they went in overtime, something like that, or
17-17. Yeah.
And they get the field to win. They were shutting down arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They were doing a damn good job with it. And freaking Malik Willis, I was like screaming at the TV, you throw the damn ball, man. Just throw it, especially at the end of the game.
Objectively terrible. Malik Willis, we've identified. People are like, is he good? Is he bad? He's objectively terrible.
Well, and yeah, so without Tannehill, for them to still be able to stay in that game, like Tony said, and for some reason Tony loves the Titans. He was big on them last year. They were the number 1 seed, but just blew it going into their after their bye week. But talk to me about the South here. I mean, it does seem like a simple choice of the Titans, but tell me a little bit how you think they've turned it around and just how good they're going to be the rest of the season.
I'm going to break down every single one of Tony's comments first off. So we're going to start with the jerseys. So I am as beta as it gets, I guess, because I got 76 jerseys sitting right there, Tone. sitting over there. I got like 76 of them. I got a Reggie Gilliam one too. I probably should have wore it because that's my guy.
Where
But
do you even buy a Reggie Gilliam jersey? Like, does that exist anywhere outside of Buffalo?
No, actually, DH Gate. It's a beautiful thing. Got to hop on it. If you haven't, do it because the jerseys pretty solid. $25, not a big deal. I actually bought a. You're not proud, but I did get a Matt Ariza jersey early on, and I didn't feel as bad throwing it out because obviously the whole situation that happened with him. Only $25, so they are a little bit cheaper. Quality a touch off, but hey, they're still stitched. So yes, so that's the first comment I have. Second off, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think the Titans are, clearly not even. No one stands a chance in this division. I don't know how the Titans they're going to go undefeated in the conference. There's no chance they lose a game in this conference. They're already 3-0. So that's 3 more wins already. So they're already, you want to just chalk up 3 more wins right away, right off the bat. They took the Colts into they took the Chiefs into overtime at 17-17. And had they not had Malik Willis playing in the game and Ryan Tannehill was out there, they win that game. There's no doubt in my mind. Malik Willis completed 5 passes all day? It's freaking insane to me. Bizarre hire by the Colts with Jeff Saturday. The only comment I have on that, I know people are absolutely losing their minds about it. You have Gus Bradley on the staff. You have John Fox on the staff, both former head coaches that have, been at high levels, been in big games, and just, I guess, whatever. We're going to bring a guy in from the outside, which I guess he's been a consultant for the team. Now, I will say this. I have a little inside info on Jeff Saturday. So my good buddy who I work with played at University of Buffalo with a guy named Jamie Richard, who was a center. He was also Jeff Saturday's backup center. And he used to come back. He used to go back up to University of Buffalo and he would talk to the guys and stuff. And he said Jeff Saturday was one of the biggest football wizards you'll ever meet. And he would just sit there and listen to him and Peyton Manning talk ball all day long. The guy could tell you exactly every single assignment that anyone on the field was doing. And he said it was the most incredible thing of all time. So I guess he has that going for him. But outside of that, I don't know what the hell the Colts are doing. And the funniest part is Jeff Saturday, I don't know if you guys saw it, tweeted on October 30th. He said the Raiders are awful. Guess who's playing this week? The Raiders. So potentially a matchup between the 2 worst head coaches in football and Josh McDaniels and Jeff Saturday. Fired up to watch that one. Gonna have it on one of my TVs down here because it's can't miss football. So it's gonna be great. I will say I agree with what Tony said in the whole Jacksonville Jaguars, the slightest pulse type thing, because there are moments with that team. Great rally, first off. I know it was against the Raiders last week where they come back and somehow win that game. Don't know what the hell the Raiders are doing. They look awful. They start off so strong, and then they just blow every game. With Jacksonville, man, they got some players on that team. I think Travis Etienne is starting to come up a little bit. Christian Kirk's had a phenomenal year. That defense, they have the other Josh Allen on defense, who was apparently going to get traded at one point, which is insane. But they got some dogs on that team, and I do think that they're a young team that's kind of up and coming, and Doug Peterson is a good coach, so I think they'll get right. I don't think they're going to be even, considered in playoff talk or wild card talk or anything like that, but they have a little bit of a pulse, at least in this division, to finish second. And then the Texans, man, just write them off. They played well against the Eagles, but not a chance did they even come close to winning this division. I think ultimately in this, maybe the Texans could finish third. The Colts probably finish last. I don't know if they win another game all year. And that's no disrespect to Jeff Saturday. I love the guy. I think he was a great center. I think he's a Hall of Famer. But, man, as a guy to just come in, only coaching at the high school level, it's absolutely bonkers. But, yeah, Titans by $1 million. I think they're going to win this division outright. And at minus 400, I would take that all day long. I don't think it's even worth putting money on any of these other teams.
Only Jake would have this much information about a division this bad. My goodness, the guy knows everything.
And I want to say something. Speaking of the AFC South guys, if you haven't checked it out, just posted a video about Jimmy Smith, one of the most underrated receivers, I think, of this last 20 years. Guy didn't get a ton of attention because he played in the league with T.O., Randy Moss, and all those guys. So, when you're putting up 1,600 yards a year, but you got Randy Moss putting up 1,600 yards and then 17 touchdowns, it's tough to compete with. I think Jimmy Smith should be in the Hall of Fame. Just made a great video about him against Rick and Chris's 2000 Ravens. So
yeah, we don't need to talk about that.